Here it is, GGB and co-host Poppers, and I just lost my chance at a winning record of the week. I was looking good with the San Diego State pick, and it just all fell flat on its face. I'd like to say a little bit about the Villanova Georgetown game, but let's go with the review of yesterday's basketball games. That of ranked one, that is, of course. North Texas at number 11, West Virginia. North Texas actually put up more of a fight than I expected to. The Mean Green actually led this game at halftime. Fortunately, I think the Mountaineers went on a 18-0 run after half. It was 15-0. It was something huge like that. It was a huge swing. Because I remember the North Texas was leaving by like 8 at halftime, and then it came out. I checked it a few minutes later. I'm like, dang, Mountaineers are winning by 7. I'm like, what the heck happened? North Texas just didn't have enough depth to complete the upset, but they looked rather good, and I'm going to be worried about West Virginia moving forward. North Texas might be a favorite now to win Conference USA after this game. It was a really good game by them. West Virginia, on the other hand, isn't looking as much of a strong team as I expected them to. Georgetown led by as many as 18 in this game. They were leading by 18 at one point. They ended up losing. And I'll explain to you why they ended up losing. But it also shows that Villanova is susceptible. Georgetown was predicted to finish last in the Big East. And while that was probably an overstatement on the part of the coaches poll, there's some reason to believe that Georgetown just isn't normally isn't supposed to be a really good basketball team this year. Now it might change as the year goes along, but they're just not that talented this year. And the fact is, Georgetown was leading by 18 at one point. Villanova, you gotta get your act together. I don't understand I picked this upset, but I really didn't believe it had any chance of succeeding. It really came close, and I'll explain to you why Georgetown lost. It was mainly the second half. The first half was a great effort by Georgetown all around. Second half, two things happened. They were playing sloppy basketball. They turned the ball over. They took bad shots. And I remember one shot they took specifically because it showed what Georgetown was doing the second half and why they ended up losing this basketball game. A guy took a contested three. It wasn't just contested. Like, the guy was right in his face with 5 seconds off the game clock. No, I said that right. Not 5 seconds left on the game clock. It was 25 seconds on the game clock. And the guy's just like, you know what, I'm just shooting a random three. It was a bad shot choice. Didn't go in, obviously. And that is what happened in the second half. That was one of the two reasons why they lost. Second reason, that was the worst officiated game I've seen in basketball in a long time. If you watch that game, the refs sucked. It was the worst effort I've ever seen by refs in a long time, since the Saints play in the playoffs typically. It was atrocious. It was atrocious reffing. It was horrible. I remember because I was watching a play, and I'm like, dang, that Villanova guy walked. He took like 3 steps. Now, on the other side of the ball, Georgetown took 1 step, and he was called for traveling. And it was just like that the entire game. Villanova would jump into the Georgetown guys, it wouldn't be called. But Georgetown touches a Villanova player, it's called. It was so uneven, and it was badly officiated. It was horribly officiated. I remember one time they called an offensive foul on a guy where he had no one within 5 yards of him. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely the worstly officiated game I've seen in a long time. It was a key contributing factor of why Villanova won. It's also showed me that Villanova, if they don't get help from the refs, they're not going to win a lot of games. I'm not excited about Villanova moving forward either. Omaha at number 5, Kansas. Kansas proved that, of course, they're better than Omaha. That's all I have to say about that game. Nebraska actually hung in there with Creighton till like halftime, and then Creighton ran away with it. But the fact Nebraska was able to hang in there until halftime was pretty impressive. I didn't expect Nebraska to hang in there at all. They're Nebraska. They're the Cornhuskers. They're consistently horrible at basketball. And then finally, Iowa State at number 3, Iowa. And Garza showed why he is legitimately the best player in the entire NCAA, putting up 34 points against Iowa State. Wow. Iowa's just really good this year. there's not another team like it in the entire NCAA. I think them, Baylor, and Gonzaga are easy top 3. They just have all looked so good to start the regular season. But let's go over the games that are going to be on today. And the important ones, there are 5 ranked matchups, so let's go over all of them. As you know, we start at the 4 I'm not going to pick, and then finally I end with the one I am going to pick. But let's start with 10:30, number 12 Tennessee is taking on Cincinnati. Tennessee's favored by 7 in this game. It's on the SEC Network Plus if you want to watch it. Now, consider taking this game. Cincinnati has not looked bad this year. They actually look like a pretty good basketball team. But the fact is, Tennessee, I don't know much about. I mean, they beat Colorado, but again, you know my opinions on the Pac-12. Tennessee's the only ranked SEC team this week, and there's a reason why. Other than Florida, I don't see there's another really good basketball team in the SEC. It's just, the SEC's like the Pac-12. If the Pac-12 had one good team, it's just, I don't know enough about Tennessee, though, to pick against them. I haven't seen enough of the games. Now, if Texas Tech was literally playing anyone else, I might pick against them because I just don't have any faith in Texas Tech moving forward. But Texas A&M CC, yeah, not going to happen. Texas Tech's going to run away with this one. There's a reason they're favored by 25.5 points, by the way. The other 1 o'clock game, North Carolina Central at number 16 UNC. I mean, just like the C4, I don't have a lot of faith in UNC if they're playing a good team. But North Carolina Central, not a good team, so not going to pick against them. This was the only other. This 7 o'clock game is the only other one other considering because Missouri looked really good against Oregon, but Illinois is not Oregon. You know what I mean? Illinois is considered a favorite to win the Big Ten this year because it's really them, Iowa, and Michigan State's up there, and Wisconsin. Those are the top 4 really. Illinois is really good this year, and I don't have the faith to pick Missouri. It's possible Missouri makes the tournament this year. They haven't looked bad. They've actually looked like a really good basketball team to start out the season, but I don't have faith in them beating Illinois because Illinois has looked so good recently. And this is the upset of the day. My opinion, it's going to be 10 o'clock. Florida at number 20, Florida State. And I understand I already picked against Florida State this week, and it sucked because Indiana almost beat them. But the fact is, Florida, I think, had the chance to make the playoffs this year. I think they're the second best team in the SEC right now. I mean, other than Tennessee. I don't know much about Tennessee is all I know. I haven't seen many Tennessee games. There was only the Colorado game to watch, and the fact is, I just don't know much about Tennessee because they've only played 1 game. Florida's played more, and I have more faith that Florida's a good basketball team. Although they went down early to Army. I don't know what that was, but I think Florida's a good basketball team this year, and I think Florida's going to pull off the upset. I think there's a reason why Florida State's only favored by 2.5 in this game. Florida's a good basketball team. Give me Florida to beat Florida State. Anyways, this is GGB and co-host Popper saying, adios, amigos.